Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss about plains, and in the last video we have discussed about different other landforms, like we discussed about mountains, we discussed about plateaus and their types as well as their importance. So in this video we are going to particularly focus on plains, their types and their importance. Okay, so we'll be discussing one by one on each topic. So first we'll start about plains. Now plains are generally a broad stretch of land that have no great change in elevations, or any extensive land or broad land nearly a level stretch, means should not be more undulating. It should be a level stretch of land that should not be very high in elevation, okay, or a slight change. There should be a slight change in elevation. They spread over hundreds of square kilometer. Okay, most of the plains is a very extensive plain. They may spread up to hundreds of kilometer. Okay, so more than the half of the earth's surface is covered by plains. Okay, so majority of the surface of the earth is covered by plains, and most of the plains have been formed by deposition made by rivers and its tributaries. Okay, so the river draining from the mountainous region brings a lot of sediments with it, or it brings debris along with it, and those debris are in the form of alluviums or in the form of sediments are deposited in the low-lying areas by the rivers and its tributaries. Now what is tributaries, or what are tributaries? Tributaries are the small streams that joins the main river. For example, this is the main river, and this river is joined by small streams, okay, towards the main river. So this small streams are termed as tributaries. So this tributaries also plays an important role in carrying the sediments or alluvium with it and deposits in the deposit in the main river, and this main river carries all those sediments and deposits in the low-lying areas. Okay, now moving to next point, that is plains are fertile regions of the world, as this region especially is formed by the deposition made by the rivers, and most of these depositions are in the form of alluviums, and these alluviums are rich source of it makes the soil more rich, okay, and fertile. Now coming to next, some examples of the plains, the great plains in the world are the Ganga Brahmaputra plains, the largest extensive plain, or it is it is most of the it is the largest plain. Okay, some of the examples are Ganga Brahmaputra plains, the central plains of United States, the plains in these are very important to note. The Ganga Brahmaputra plain, world largest plain, the central plain of United States, and the plain of the eastern plains in the eastern part of China formed by Wangho, Yangtze, Sikiang rivers. Okay, and lastly the Nile basin formed by river Nile of Egypt. These are some of the important plains in the world. So there are more examples, okay, about the great plains in the world. So these are more important. So moving to next one is types of plains. Now there are different types of plain. This classification is basically done on the basis of its origin or genesis. Okay, so on the basis of genesis and its origin, there are three types of plains. The first one is structural plain, second one is erosional plain, and the third one is depositional plain. Okay, so this are the three major plains, okay, structural plain, erosional plain and depositional plain. Although there are sub classification on all this, but as this video is basically focusing on keeping in view for class 6 students, so we'll be discussing in short about all these plains. Okay, starting with the first one, that is structural plane. Now how structural planes are formed, okay, we'll be discussing that. So this type of planes are basically formed due to upliftment of land or landmass because of endogenic forces. Okay, now what are endogenic forces? So endogenic forces are the forces that develops within the earth surface, okay, or below the earth surface, you can say. Now this endogenic forces develops when tectonic plates moves, okay, or due to the convective currents below the surface of the earth. Say for example, this is the surface of the earth, and you know that the this tectonic plates or the crustal plates never remain stable. It is always in dynamic states. So magma, the boiling magma develops forms a convective cells, and this convective cells will try to split these continental plates into different directions, and this is the main reason for movement of the tectonic plates, and the force that is generating from the interior of the earth is termed as endogenic forces. Okay, this endogenic forces tries to uplift the landforms, okay, or it may tries to submerge the landforms. So submergence or subsidence of the landforms may result in the form of extensive planes. Such type of planes are known as structural planes. Now coming to next point, that is so these are located on the borders of almost all the major continents. So most of these structural planes are located along the borders or along the continental shelf of the continents, we can say. Now the structural planes may also form due to subsidence of the areas. So as I already told you, upliftment as well as subsidence of the crustal plates or crustal surface results in the formation of structural planes. Okay, some of the examples of a subsidence, the plane formed by subsidence are the central lowland of Australia is the ideal example for structural plane. Now coming to next, that is other examples of the structural planes are the southeastern plains of United States and uplifted part of the Gulf of Mexico are some other examples of this structural plane. Okay, so this is all about a structural plane. Now moving to the next point, that is the you can also see the image of this structural plane, how structural planes looks like. Okay, so this is the uplifted block, and this portion got subsided, or this block has got subsided down. Okay, so this part, you can see it is an uplifted block which can be extensive plane region, or this portion is also an extensive plane region subsidence block, or the portion which gets subsided down. Okay, moving to next point, that is erosional planes. Now how erosional planes are formed. Okay, now which are the agents that plays an important role in forming erosional planes, we will be discussing that. So they are formed it should be due to the process of erosion, where the agents of erosion works constantly to make the land flat. So all the erosive agent plays a very important role in forming the erosional planes. Okay, say for example, this landmass was undulating like this. Okay, now due to continuous erosions by different agents, like maybe running water, or maybe wind, or maybe moving glaciers, okay, maybe sea waves. So all this natural agent will try to erode this landmass. Okay, and with the passage of time, you will see the landmass, the height of this landmass will reduce to the level of plains. Okay, say for example, earlier this was the original height, but now due to continuous erosion the height has reduced. Now you can see that, say for example this is the elevated land, okay, due to some erosive agents this landmass is continuously eroded by running water or maybe by wind if it is a dry areas, okay, or maybe due to glaciers if it is the temperate regions or maybe the polar regions, okay. So there the impact of glacier will be more, so due to which what happened, these landmass, the height of this landmass get reduced or the surface soil get eroded out, so thereby this the height of this landmass will reduce to peneplain, okay. So this this landmass may attain the lower height or it attain the height of a plain, so such type of plains are termed as erosional plains, okay. Now coming to next point, that is features. Okay, the surface of this plain is hardly smooth, okay, as this has been formed due to continuous erosion made by different erosive agents. So there can be a leftover boulders in this plain, or there can be a kind of hillocks, or there can be a incel birds, etc. So this plain may not be smooth because this has been formed due to successive erosions made by different erosive agents, okay. Now moving to next point, that is these are therefore called peneplains, which means almost a plain. So this peneplains has been formed by erosion made by different agents, okay. So the other name for erosional plains can be peneplains, okay, or peneplains means a kind of almost plain area, okay. Now examples of peneplains, or you can see erosional plain, can be the Canadian Shield and the West Siberian plains are the examples of erosional plains. Now moving to next point, you can see the image of erosional plain, how erosional plain look like. As I already told you, the surface of the erosional plain is never a smooth surface, rather there can be a boulders or there can be a hillocks like this, okay. So this type of plains are called erosional plains. Now next is depositional plains, a very common form of plain. Depositional plain can be discussed in this way. They are formed by the deposition of the debris brought by the erosional agents. So as I already told you, like in case of alluvial plains, okay, those are formed by the deposition of alluvial soil brought by the rivers. So there are more classification of depositional plain. So this is based on excuse me, on their agents and location. So they are the river plains, deltaic plain or delta plain, and loess plain. So these are the other forms of depositional plains. They are categorized based on agents and its locations. Some of the examples of the depositional plains can be Ganga Brahmaputra plain, northern plains, North European plains, and the Indus plains are the examples of depositional plain, okay. So you can see some of the images of the depositional plain separately. So this is alluvial plain, this is glacial plains formed by glaciers, and this is also a part of alluvial plains, okay, or Ganga, the plain formed by Ganga Brahmaputra river, okay. Moving to next point, that is importance of plain. Now how plains are important to us or for the mankind. Now plains are fertile regions of the world. So as I already told you, it brings lot of rich sediments with it and makes the region more fertile, okay. Now if it is fertile, then it is good for agriculture as well, right. So plains are ideal place for settlements with sprawling towns and cities, That means if it is a fertile land, so people wants to come and live here, different kinds of different forms of settlements develops here. This is a low, a kind of a level land, so the constructions of roads, constructions of buildings and settlements becomes easier in the plain areas. Now communication is smooth as the construction of road and railway is relatively easier, as I already told you just now. Okay, now coming to next point, that is plains are thickly populated regions of the world. Now why thickly populated? Because all the accessibilities required for making the plain densely populated are easily available in the plain areas. Okay, so this makes the all the requirements for the construction of road, the area should be plain, level, so it's already there. And even the construction of railway networks, okay, plains are ideal place. And even for agriculture, okay, the soil is fertile here, so for agriculture purpose people flock to this plain areas. Okay, so there are many other importance of plain, due to which the density of the plain density in the plain area is higher compared to the mountainous region, as well as in the plain as well as in the plateau regions. Okay, so these are some of the importance of plains. Okay, so this is up to this we are going to discuss this particular video. So rest regarding values I'll be discussing in the separate topic or in the separate video. Okay, hope you have understood this, and if there is any kind of queries, you can leave the comment in the comment box. So we'll be discussing about that particular topic again in the next video. Thank you.